Hi everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we are diving into a report from WW International, also known as Weight Watchers. Don't worry, this isn't just about dieting. We're going to uncover whether their financial health is also slimming down or if they're bulking up their profits. Before we get started, if you like getting clear information about what's happening in the business world, make sure you subscribe to our channel. Also, join our Discord community. The link is in the description below. WW International filed what's called an 8K report on May 6, 2025. This is basically a quick update companies give to the Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC, whenever something important happens that investors should know about. Think of it as a business bulletin. The main point of this 8K is to announce WW International's financial results for the first quarter of 2025, which ended in March. They issued a press release with all the details. We are going to break down what that press release tells us. It's important to remember that these reports and releases are not necessarily the full story. Companies often want to put their best foot forward, so we need to look closely and form our own opinions. Now, it's really important to understand something about these releases. The information is being furnished, not filed. What that really means is the company isn't legally as responsible for this report as for other filings with the SEC. They don't have to be as worried about getting sued if something is misleading in the press release. It also won't automatically get added to other official documents filed with the SEC. Always a good idea to keep that in mind. Okay, let's dig into the exhibit, which is the actual press release. This is where we get the numbers and see how WW did. The first big number is total revenue. For the first quarter, WW brought in $229 million. Of that, $177 million due to business. Digital is things like their app subscriptions and online programs. The rest, $51.8 million, came from workshops, which are in-person meetings and coaching sessions. So you can see digital is a much bigger part of their business these days. Next, let's look at membership. WW had 4.1 million total paid members at the end of the quarter. 13.4 million of those were digital members, and 12.7 million were workshop members. Again, this shows how much more their business relies on digital subscriptions versus in-person meetings. Moving on to profits. Their gross profit was $159.66 million. Gross profit is what's left after you subtract the costs of providing their services from their revenue. Marketing is a huge expense for them. They spent $80.9 million on marketing during the quarter. Weight Watchers is a very competitive market, so marketing and promotions are essential for attracting and retaining customers. Operating income, which is profit from their main business before things like interest and taxes, was $21.6 million. Finally, net income, which is their bottom line profit after all expenses, was $6.0 million. That comes out to 8 cents per share. Earnings per share, or EPS, is a key number for investors because it tells you how much profit the company made for each share of stock. They also mentioned something called adjusted EBITDA, which was 45 times $8 million. EBITDA stands for earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. It's a way to look at a company's profitability without including those things, and the adjusted part means they've made some other changes to the number. Cash flow is another important metric. Cash flow from operating activities was $33 million. This is the cash the company generated from its normal business operations. They also calculated free cash flow, which was $26.7 million. Free cash flow is the cash a company has left over after paying for its capital expenditures like equipment and buildings. Now let's compare these results to last year to see how things are trending. Total revenue decreased compared to the same period in 2024. In the first quarter of 2024, their total revenue was $249 million. This year, it's $2029 million. This year, it's $2029 million. That's about an 8% drop. Their digital revenue also decreased, falling 6% year over year. And their workshop revenue decreased even more by 14%. Total paid members also decreased, down 11% compared to the same time last year. This means they lost about 1 in 10 members. Net income also decreased from $7.4 million to $6 million. So across the board, most of their key metrics are down compared to last year. Based on these trends, WW is revising its full year outlook for 2025. They now expect revenue to be between $930 million and $960 million. Before, they were expecting a higher number. This shows they're being more cautious about their performance for the rest of the year. They're also lowering their expectations for adjusted EBITDA, now projecting between $175 million and $190 million. The report was signed by Felicia Della Fortuna, the Chief Financial Officer of WW International. Now let's step back and look at the bigger picture. The numbers paint a pretty clear picture. WW International is facing some challenges. Revenue, membership and profits all down compared to last year, and they've lowered their expectations for the rest of 2025. A big part of their problem seems to be competition from newer weight loss drugs and programs. The market is changing fast and WW is struggling to keep up. Their digital business is still the main source of revenue, but even that's declining. The drop in workshop revenue suggests that people are moving away from in-person meetings and looking for other solutions. On the other hand, WW still has a strong brand and a large membership base. They're also generating positive cash flow, which gives them some flexibility to invest in new strategies. If they can adapt to the changing market and find new ways to attract and retain members, they might be able to turn things around. However, if these trends continue, WW could face some serious challenges in the years ahead. Alright, that's our breakdown of WW International's latest report. What's your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.